Chris, tell me about the workbook and what it means for the future.
So for Teak's conference, the Cyber Summit, we're putting together this workbook that allows us to replay data and then analyze it and teach people the different first, second, third tier analysis capabilities and how they're going to respond. And so the workbook is twofold. We're going to, of course, continue this capability. It's a really nice training tool and teaching tool. We're going to continue to work with Teaks and Texas A&M to grow this even more. But the transition is that we'll probably use it like in webinars and other things to be able to more open source it to the universe, right? So people can understand what the training is and to really up the game, because I think the design of SOCs has really become random. People learn it at their old job and bring it to the new one. And there's not as much professional training and architecture around it, especially at the academic level. The other piece to workbook is this capability of replaying real scenarios. And so that's actually a massive change even to our own back end. And what I mean by that is that now what we can do is we can do unit testing. So now I can grab this data that's interesting, test it out, make sure the system's working well. Then we can go back and say, you know what? Did all the signatures hit properly? Were there any things that in the signatures that we would have missed? Because remember now, we're a UEBA. So I'm looking at 5 to 6 signatures being clustered together. Was there a seventh or an eighth one that we missed that would have made it easier to analyze the data? Also, what type of attributes were in the hits? Was there something we missed? In other words, maybe the file name should have shown up instead of the SHA-256 or with the SHA-256. So those type of things are really another capability. And lastly, as we look at this stuff, we are doing a ton of work in AI. And one of them is this concept of using Gen AI as a SOAR workflow. So we normally stay away from SOAR when we talk about fluency. But one of the things we find is that SOAR is intensively manpower. It's A plus B, therefore I do C. And because of it, there's a lot of engineering work and time spent creating these run books. And that's where SOARs fail. If you take a look at the industry right now, SOAR is failing because it takes so much effort to create these run books and they're not always triggered. So you're spending a lot of money for stuff that maybe you don't need. So that's where I think Gen AI is going to be a big jump. That we're going to be able to define things and say, maybe A, maybe B, then maybe C. And that Gen AI adds its intelligence into that process so that it's more of a fuzzy logic and less of a stringent logic. And maybe that will accelerate it. So that's all the work we're doing worth the workbook. It's an incredible starting point for more work than we can handle.